Hello, Internet Nation. Alex and Ashley here for the third time today, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the third time. I'm coming to you guys with part 3 or part 2.5 of the meaning of the temple art. Oh, and if you guys haven't realized by now, the temple in question is my body and the temple art is my tattoos. This is part 2.5, and in this part, I shall be covering my back tattoo. Now, why does that one get its own video, you may ask, despite the fact that it is like the only tattoo on my body that is not done? Well, because there is more to it than is there right now. I will show you guys what it is right now. It's basically just a picture of Pocahontas. And originally, that's all it was going to be. It was just going to be a picture of Pocahontas that was done and just had to be colored. But I decided to expand on the picture and make it much more than it originally was. So here is what it is now. Work with me on this one. It's not a good picture of my tattoo, but it is very hard taking pictures of your back. Ironically, I'm flexible enough to scratch my back and to wash my back, but not to take pictures of my back. But that's basically what it looks like now. And when it's done, it's gonna look like this. Let me bring it closer. Okay. So this is a printout of the image. I'm gonna put a picture of the image right here. I have to move my hand to do that. And for some reason, the image is blurry. But that's okay. Not really, but it's okay. Sometimes you win, you mostly just lose. So yeah. The image that I have right now is just Pocahontas. So I guess I'll just extend on the aspects of her and then move on to Cora. So, using this as an example, I suppose, since this is as good as it gets, since this is the actual image, minus all this here black in the background, it's just the background. I made this for an art show, and these prints are totally available, but do not ask me if you can get this image tattooed on your body, because it was made specifically for me. And the image itself is just called 3D for the aspect of the show, but it is basically unnamed. It's called 3D to basically 3D is short for third dimension, which there is a lot of that happening here. Starting with, I guess I'll break it down character by character and what the specific design of each character means, and then extend it towards the whole image itself. So starting off, there's Pocahontas. And Pocahontas in herself is a combination of Native American and Egyptian culture. As you can see, she's wearing a headdress that's a combination of both Hathor, the Egyptian god of fertility and harvest's headdress, which is a horn with the circle and a little snake on it, which is connected to a Native American headdress. And the Native American headdress, it extends out to feathers and then turns into the gold pleating of a very fancy Egyptian headdress. And it's a combination of, I don't necessarily remember what the Egyptians wore that specific headdress for. I believe it was just worn for royalty, but I could be wrong. Please do correct me if I am wrong. But the Native American headdress is worn by chiefs, shamans, spiritual leaders, and in this picture, Pocahontas is representing the spiritual aspect of the third. Well, is there a spiritual aspect of the third dimension, or does it all just go past that? Let's just say it does for right now, but she's representing the spiritual aspect of the third uh, dimension. And she's wearing the cuffs of Hathor. Are they related to Hathor? They could be related to Hathor. Hathor is usually depicted wearing these cuffs on her ankles and her wrist. And she is manifesting, not holding or hovering an Ankh. She is manifesting an Ankh, bringing it into this reality. She also has a scarab tattoo on her chest, but that's just, I don't remember what scarabs represent. That was just kind of a stylistic choice. She's naked to represent my personal comfortability with my body and my physical form, as well as my spiritual being. And what else can I say about her? She's sitting in a meditating stance, manifesting the Ankh, which is a representation of life. So she is meditating and manifesting life. And she's holding it at her core, which is technically where the woman would create the baby, where she would manifest the life from her core, from her center, from the womb. And that's where life comes from the womb. Now, she's basically surrounded by the element of air, which Korra is bending, and the air is colored with the colors of the wind from the Pocahontas movie. Originally I wanted the colors of the wind to wrap around her, kind of like, I guess how wind would, and then extend out onto my shoulders, and somewhat. But I do enjoy this concept, and when Mike finishes the design, I told him he has complete artistic, I forget what it's called, artistic creativity when it comes to the elements and the wind. Now coming down here, we have Korra, not Katara. Do not confuse it. I understand that she is not wearing the basic Korra attire, but this is Korra. Like, this is basically the version of Korra that I cosplay sometimes, that I refer to as either sexy Korra or tribal Korra. It's not necessarily meant to, like, up the sex appeal for fan service reasoning. It's just referred to as sexy Korra because it is a cosplay of Korra that happens to be sexy, but it's mostly just a tribal Korra because it's more of a jungleistic tribal kind of feel, and it's more earthy, down to earth, and it represents my earth warrior side. Now, Korra represents the physical aspect of the third 3D. She's bending the elements, obviously, because she's the avatar. Oh. And as you can probably tell, both of them have 3 eyes. They both have their third eye open, but Pocahontas has it horizontally and Korra has it vertically. I decided to go with vertical for Korra because the characters in the Avatar universe, generally only the firebenders who have mastered the art of combustion, they have the vertical third eye on their tattooed on their forehead, in which they manifest their, what would you even call that? What is it? It's like a sonic wave of some sort that they use to explode people's brains. And it's usually always vertical. And that was just a stylistic choice. And as you can see, Pocahontas has her eyes closed because she is meditating. She is spirit. With spirit, you don't necessarily need your physical eyes for seeing, as opposed to the physical, in which you would need your eyes to see. But Korra is also in the avatar state, which you can tell because her eyes are all white. So, yes, this part of the picture is actually possibly, well, this whole image is one of my favorite things that I've created absolutely ever, and I cannot wait to get the entire thing finished on my body, just in general. If you look closer, you can see that for one, Korra is bending. She's holding Juan's teapot, and I don't know if you can tell, but it the text on it, it's Allah. I forgot what that is. What Hindu, Indian, same thing. I literally do not remember what religion that is from. Excuse my ignorance right now. But she's holding Juan's teapot and it says Allah to represent the fact that I is God. I mean, like, we're all God, you guys, because I know people get mad. I could just feel the shift in the universe when I say that I'm God. When anybody says that they're God, like whenever I say it, I just feel the repercussions of every time Kanye says it. Like, Kanye is a fucking nut, and I love it because he knows that he is God. He knows that we are God. He realizes that shit and he lives that shit, and people ridicule him for it. And it's the funniest thing to me because I'm just like, Kanye, yes, you are a crazy motherfucker. Give me more. You are God, and you know you're God, and you're living like you're God. Yes, give me some Kanye any day, but not like that. So yeah, she is holding Juan's teapot, and she is bending the element of water out of it, and from the element of water, La and Tu are writing it to represent the spirits. As you can see, all the major spirits are depicted in this image, and I will get to Rava and Batu a little bit later. But Korra is dressed up in tribal attire, basically. She's wearing a backless top with the hood. As you can see, that's not necessarily fuzz on the hood. It's more like air, water. I forgot what it was, but like on my outfit, it's like a transparent white lace that I was gonna use to bend as a bending prop for air. So it's basically just like air and water wrapped around the hood because she's the Avatar and it looks fucking cool. And as you probably can't see in the image because it's really, really small and detailed, coming out on top of the teapot it's a black hole. Just like a black hole to represent the singularity of all that is, all that will be, all that can be, all that absolutely positively just is, because within the black hole is another universe, and within the universe there are black holes, and within each one of us there are black holes, because black holes are the key to everything. That's generally how I see myself sometimes, as a black hole, because I feel as though I have a gravitational pull. Like when I'm just existing in spaces, things generally gravitate towards me. Like I'll be walking down the street and then people will be walking on the other side of the sidewalk, and then they get past a certain point and it's just like, hey, I think I want to walk towards Ashley. I think I want to bump into Ashley, even though I was all the way on the other side of the street, and you're just kind of like, I see you there, walking on alongside the curb or walking alongside that gate, almost scraping against the gate, but I want to walk where you are. So I'm pretty sure I have a really strong gravitational pull. But basically, she is manifesting this black hole, this essence of life, this essence of everything. So you have Pocahontas manifesting life, and then Korra manifesting the all. And then on her ankles, she has like little anklets that are little planets. They're just like anklets made of planets, and I can't wait to get my anklets with the little solar system on them, so I too can wear, the planets around my ankles, so I can walk around like the goddess that I am, controlling life and matter and all that is. Which is another thing that Korra is doing. She's controlling the matter around here because she's the motherfucking Avatar. There's not much to say about the elements, obviously, because, she's the Avatar, so she bends all the elements. And she is bending an element with each one of her hands. She is depicted here like a Hindu god. I do not remember the name of the exact Hindu god, but I'm not even gonna try, because, for one, I never remember anything aside from, like, Shiva, and I'm pretty sure Shiva was not the inspiration for this, because I think Shiva has more than 6 arms. But it was important to me that she has 6 arms because, for one, 6 is my life path number, and it's split up as a 3-3, which simplifies to 6. So I have a master number of 333. So which is represented here with the 3 arms on both sides, and she is bending an element with each arm, and they are all drawn stylistically differently. There isn't really much significance behind the hand positions, aside from the fire, which is that kind of like a meditative symbol, kind of. Like, generally when I do this, I can feel the fire rising within me, as well as corny as that sounds. Moving on, though, we have, excuse me, I'm just admiring my work. Moving on, we have Rava and Vatu up at the top. And Rava and Vatu originally were supposed to be emerging from the teapot as well, but they are not. Which means either I got lazy and didn't do that part, or, well, I probably, because I did this picture and I had like I literally finished it the day before I needed it, and then everything after that was just, I never got around to fixing, especially since I can't get my laptop to connect to the Wi-Fi, so I can't really send the image to myself, even if I fixed it, which sucks. But anyway, here you have Rava and Vatu. They were supposed to be emerging from the teapot, just like La and Tu, but they are not. Also, I couldn't find a good way of having them come from the teapot, but oh well, I do suppose I could just tell Mike that I want them to come from the teapot and then see what he designs. But Rava and Vatu, they're interlaced. Well, they're surrounded by the air. They're surrounded by the air. That Korra is bending because the air is the element closest to spirit. So they are surrounded by the air, they are dancing with the air, and then they are combined above Pocahontas. And they're combined above Pocahontas because she is the spiritual aspect of this picture. Korra is a physical, meaning the connection to the 4 elements: earth, wind, air, water, and fire. And Pocahontas is the connection to the spiritual, which is why Rava and Vatu are above her. And as you can see, they are combined as one. That was also a stylistic choice. I had drawn them multiple times, and I did not know how to depict them around Pocahontas. I originally wanted them to wrap around her, but then I decided it would just be much easier and much cooler looking to combine them into one. And the reason that they are combined into one is because they are representing the unity of, basically the unity of all that they represent. So for those of you that do not know what Rava and Vatu represent, they are basically they're basically the Avatar universe's representation of yin and yang. Even though they're a little flipped. Rava being, ironically, you can see Rava in the background. Rava being, whatchamacallit, mostly flipped. Rava still represents order and femininity, even though usually the feminine usually represents chaos. But Rava is order, Vatu is chaos. They are light and dark, they are opposites, they are always fighting, and the combination of the two represents the unity throughout life. Like, without the one, there cannot be the other, which is why if you look for the dark, it is all you will see. But if you look for the light, you will sometimes find it. I said that backwards, I'm very aware. But yeah, they're a representation of light and dark, and together they are balance. They are the order. They are the order and the chaos, the light and the dark, the feminine and the masculine. They are everything because there cannot be one without the other. And they were basically complete opposites and one and the same. And they are rising up, and I'm pretty sure that part is gonna hurt the most. Like he can fill in the blue for Rava, and they're gonna be on the back of my neck because, as you can see, Pocahontas' headpiece comes up all the way. So I'm pretty sure the tip of them is gonna be like at my hairline. Oh, that's gonna be so painful, and I'm so ready for all this agony. But yeah, that is my back piece, and hopefully it's done next week, and hopefully I can show you guys, and hopefully I can just make this face. There we go. Excited and pained. Maybe I'll make a live vlog while it's happening. Maybe not, probably not. So yeah, you guys, that was 3D, my back piece, my back tat that I shall hopefully be getting next week. It's gonna be agonizing and beautiful, and that is all the sentimental value and meaning behind it. I shall see you guys a little bit later when I go over Tattoos Done By Me, video 3. See you guys then.